Hello, you're listening to Wake the F Up with Niana Mary Woods. Today, oh my gosh, we have a really special person. She's a special friend of mine. I've known her for a very long time. Her name is Carly Sunae.
Oh, I don't know if because your voice, though, I don't know if it's because you're sick or what, but it's very sexy. So
Yeah.
yes, I am that person. Hi.
Hi. You guys, she's not just my friend anymore, you guys. She's a mom. She's a mom. She's a mom, you guys, and she's been a mom for the last 5 years, which is crazy because Saneva, her daughter, just turned 5, and I was like holding her at 4. I was like, "Yeah, he's turning 4,"
Yeah, I
and it's
know.
like, "No, that was last year." She turned, and it's really big deals for me, you guys, because I'm coming to the understanding that I'm still having like that midlife crisis where I realize all my friends and I have kids. And I'm like, whoa. And Carly was before me. She blessed me, really. I'm glad she was before me because she really blessed me with insight that I wasn't really just getting on a day to day from other moms. And then even that she shares a little bit about why like you don't even get that day to day insight. But Carly, like just offhand, it's a Thursday. It's a
Yep.
Thursday morning
Yep.
and we're in California. How is your morning?
Crazy. I mean, not crazy. It's not crazy anymore because it's my normal, right? But even I was just talking to my coworkers, like I'm actually supposed to be off. And I don't feel like I'm off. Like I'm still
Oh,
doing work stuff a little bit, and then I'm doing mommy stuff, right? Doing errands. I just dropped her off, went to the store, went grocery shopping, coming, cleaning up the house, putting stuff away. I mean, that's just been my morning, right? It's like nonstop. Once you go, you keep going because
right, right. And so you're not a stay at home mom, it sounds like.
yes, I also work full-time job, which is not just 8 to 5. It's pretty encompassing, like even off those hours. So yeah, I'm working and I'm a full-time parent. Yes, by myself, single parent.
Clearly I know that, you guys, but I'm emphasizing momming is a full-time job. That's a full-time job, and then you have another full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that job? What do you do, Carly?
I do marketing, so I am out in the field marketing. So I know there's a lot of marketing jobs where you're staying at home doing stuff here, but I'm fully on feet all day, talking to people. Yeah.
Wow. And so what is the lifestyle of Saneva? Is she in school? What do you have her in?
Yeah, she just started public school as TK. So that was an adjustment for both of us, right? Physically and emotionally. I mean, schedule wise and everything. She's liking it now, but it was hard. I'm not going to lie, it was hard for both of us to see her transition to basically growing up, right? From being a toddler, big toddler, to now little kid, which is beautiful to see, but also scary.
So
So,
when you say hard, how did it like manifest for you guys?
I mean, number one is emotional, right? We tend to, I mean, being a mom and being a kid is just, and then it's just an emotional roller coaster, right? But then on top of that, you have to just the scheduling. The scheduling has to be tighter, right? Like preschool, I could roll up whenever kind of time and drop her off. School, you have to be prompt, got to be on time. There are certain rules and standards that you have to go by, which is good, which is really good. But I do know that
Oh God, I'm getting
parents,
anxiety. I'm getting anxiety for
oh yeah,
myself.
yeah, parents. I don't want you to, but parents do struggle in that transition when they have their own schedule and then now they have to go according to school schedule times and being on time and then their extracurricular activities. And so I think that to me, I think is what gets harder when you get older. I mean, as the kids get older, is then now you're worried about schedules, the busy schedule, not just your schedule, but then the kids' extracurricular schedule, schools at work, the homework, all of that you have to start, getting prepared for.
Wow. Thank you for saying that. I feel that's the thing about it is that's the first time I've heard any mom say that.
Yeah.
right? And I've been momming for about 3 years. As I say, I inherited three girls. But
Mhm.
that's like a detail, right? Because I've had a hard time, especially early on, with
Mhm.
scheduling and then like having
Mhm.
so many people in the house and then going, oh my gosh, wait, oh, this is my job. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Oh, and it's like, and then, and we're not even touching on the fact that you are a single mom. So everything's really on you.
Yeah.
You don't have help inside the house. So realizing that you have the baby, and then immediately when you have the baby, your title as mom is bigger than we can like really ever imagine.
Yeah, but
um
I can't imagine you with 3 kids, right? So having one kid is a lot. But talking about just time and scheduling, right? You have
right,
3 kids and
right.
their schedule is not the same. On top of that, let's just be real. I mean, there's pros and cons of being a single parent, right? So, and then you have your partner, and then you have to consider their schedule. Though you might have a partner, though you might have siblings to help out here and there, but I think the difficulty comes in when there's so many things that you have to intertwine together, requires you to communicate more and be conscious of each other
Yep,
more, right? So
yep.
I only have to be conscious of myself and my daughter,
And
of our
opinions.
schedule, of our
Mm-hmm.
opinions, of our emotions, all of those things. For you, you have to juggle everyone's opinions, everyone's emotions, everyone's thoughts, their schedules, and then coordinate all that. And there's a lot of coordination that comes into being a parent, but then imagine having a family requires even more.
Okay, let me just pause that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you see what she just said. That I want you guys to take note. That is why she's my friend. To be able to engage the dynamic of seeing and someone else's life and going, I can see the pros and cons, is because you do that in your life, right?
Hmm.
You dealt with Carly inwardly and outwardly about being a single mom, right?
Hmm.
And the stigmas on that. But Lord, being in my position, there are days I wish I was like, can I just not have anyone else's like saying this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I see better. This is
Hmm.
better. This is
Hmm.
better.
Hmm.
Right? How did you arrive to such peace in that place and not be like a lot of other mothers that are single that I hear that haven't arrived to that necessarily?
Um,
Those
you know,
pros.
the pros. Um, I mean, I'm observant. I talk to people and I see parents, but I'm observant and I'm also someone who takes in life experience and uses that as a way to just come to conclusions or ideas, right? So I know what it takes to be in a relationship, right? Me without a dog, just a person. And that's exhausting, right? You have expectations about that person and they have expectations about you. And when those expectations are not being met, that becomes a problem. So with a kid, they have expectations. Now, her expectations are growing as she get older, and that's where I think the difficulty comes in, right, as parenting. But right now it's just starting. But as those expectations grow, it's I can just imagine just how hard that's going to be from my experience of being in relationships. That's all. And I can imagine, like, when I make decisions, right, it's, oh, okay, I want to do this, we do it. There is no, hey, I want to do this and then have to talk to somebody about it, right? There isn't, eh, none of that. None of that. I don't have to do any of that. So that's great. And I love that. And it's a maybe it's a level of control that I like,
Right.
right? So I want this is what's going to get done, right? Where if you have to consider somebody else, then it takes time, it takes consideration, emotional, tolerance. It's just a lot more. So I can move a lot faster, I guess. I feel like I can be more efficient in my day when I don't have to think about somebody else. And I know that sounds awful, but those are things that I do have to think about when I think about having a partner, right? So I think about, if I was to have a partner, what would I need to do? What would I have to consider? And would I be able to give that? And that is time. Time is very limited when you're a parent and a single parent and a full time job, but you can make it happen. But that means you're giving of your time and of yourself to somebody else, and you don't have absolute control of that. So, that's a trade off.
What I want to note here for everyone, what it sounds like to be actively involved in your life. Carly's actively involved in the process of her life. She's not just navigating by things just kind of coming in like the wind, like leaves. It sounds like you're someone who is introspective and you
Hmm.
have goals and you have desires. And so you understand that you have to move and make certain decisions and look at things a certain way in order to be successful. I want
Hmm.
to make note to what it sounds like,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to know of yourself and you're going to be truly a parent, I think being a parent, the kids teach you the most about yourself, what you're capable of, not capable of, your tolerances, intolerances, what you're able to do or not. So sometimes it's just forced upon me. And because I'm insightful or what you said, it's, I take it in. I take it in. And every time she does something, it says something about me and how I react, what I do, then I learn about myself. So I think it's important as humans and as parents that we have to be introspective about ourselves as a person, because we are learning to be a parent that we've never known about ourselves. So we're learning about ourselves as we are teaching these kids how to be good humans. So I think it's important that we are like that we have to look into ourselves and see how we're acting or how we're taking things in and what we're doing about it. Because it's essentially affecting your little ones. And it's going to affect you if you don't, or you're not aware or conscious of it.
Right, right. And there's so much grace in that process, right,
Hmm.
Carly? Like it is
Absolutely.
there is a lot of I mean, I think even looking at it is grace, right? Instead of
Absolutely.
just kind of it affecting you and then like
Hmm.
messing up your nervous system and you're like, "Oh my
Hmm.
God." It's like looking at these things there's so much grace.
So
So,
much grace. You have to have it. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Did you grow up with parents that were as introspective as you?
Uh, I don't know. You would think so. I mean, I would think so. I mean, I don't really know if I can say. But I did grow up. Now, my dynamic is a little bit different. Everybody has a different dynamic, right? That makes them who they are. But I was adopted into a Midwest Caucasian family. So I already came with a different complex of trying to fit in, being different. But that being said, I grew up with, a great family with siblings. They did end up divorcing, but yeah, I grew up with everything provided for me. Great school, great home, traveled. They did a great job raising me.
So how do you feel your life changed in the way because you were already introspective? Yeah, because I've
Hmm.
I've known you. How do you feel? Well, that helped you clearly,
Oh,
but how do you feel
absolutely.
like your life changed in adding a child to that?
It's a lot harder than you think, right? Because again, I don't think people understand how much it tests you as a person. You think, you want to love this person. They're an extension of your being, but again, that extension of your being is going to test every cell in your body, on and who you are. So what it does, it just forces you to look at yourself. You have to, you're forced to, as a different person. So I think the struggle, we're kind of going off of it, but I think the struggle for me is, when you're not a parent, you have a certain identity and idea of yourself. And then you become a parent, and that's slowly being taken away, if not abruptly. And that takes time to kind of sink in.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm experiencing that right now,
Hmm.
even though it's been 3 years. I had a child, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that was like physical, but totally, I can't, yeah, you totally, that just blew my mind what you just said. Absolutely. You just put words to what I say in my head all the time. Oh my God.
You're always learning, man.
You
I mean,
know,
you are always
you're like
evolving
the
and
single
learning.
person and the person with child. Oh my
Yeah.
God. People say it, but it's not just a physical thing.
Mm.
It's not just you have a physical being. It's like mentally, you are a completely different person.
Yes.
Now see, and I won't veer off, but I will go back there. As far as you're a completely different person with a child outside of not having a child. And I'll go back to looking because what I want to look at is parents that don't necessarily look at that. They just
Yeah.
kind of are overwhelmed with the fact that they
Hmm.
have the child.
Yeah.
But before that, would you say and you can share as much as you're comfortable with, of course. So would you
Hmm.
say you're like co-parenting? Would you say you're co-parenting light?
No. There's
Okay.
no co-parenting. I'm
Okay.
parenting 100%.
Okay. So how would you describe your daughter's fathers
Uh,
in her life?
he just I allow him to just kind of see her whenever he wants to see. He lives in a different state. So he can come and say whenever he wants to see her, and that's it. And I will allow, of course, allow however that relationship needs to develop. But she lives, there's no parenting involved for on his part. It's just me. I am the 100% parent. So, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that because I couldn't imagine co-parenting with somebody, and we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things because then it would just make it a lot more stressful. So that's what I was talking about in the beginning is if you have the right partner and see eye to eye on a lot of things, it might be easier. But if you don't, you can imagine how stressful every decision is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's divorcees right now
Mm,
that wish
mm,
the parent that really doesn't give a damn would just stop. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No, I talk about the silver lining
Yeah,
of like your individual situation outside
yeah,
of
yeah.
whatever cons there are. There's
Mm-hmm.
pros and cons to everything. What I want to touch on, how do you define? Because you said there is no co-parenting, and so
Yeah.
so how do you define parenting?
Right. So it might be every day, but if it's co-parenting, they see you every week, right? And they help you with the daily activities of going to school or taking you to the extracurriculars, showing up and cheering you on and praising you or disciplining you. Those things, praise and discipline is parenting and being present.
I don't even think I was even able to give words because my situation is unique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with a divorcee, and I mean I am a divorcee as well, but I didn't have children in my union.
Right.
He had children in his union. So I came in thinking that like I was just gonna kind of be interim mom, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not the case. The children needed more. They needed a parent. They needed another parent, another mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I think I didn't even know because of his situation. He was more of like the main parent. I couldn't even put words to like what it was that I was being. I was being a parent, but I was like, wow, I feel like I have no time.
Well, so.
Literally, I didn't just become a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I became a parent, right? Like you have these titles of like dad, mom, grandmother, grandfather, but there's also this actual beyond the nurturing part, the logistical part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? There is a logistical part
Yep.
when it comes to having kids,
Yeah.
and that is the parenting part. Their dad, my hubby, has done a great job. He had to compensate a lot. And a lot of times in that compensation, you don't necessarily know what you're doing.
Mhm.
You're just like your hip is not meant to support what your whole leg is
Right.
supposed is
Yeah.
supposed to work together to do. Do you feel like in the way your brain works, the way you learn, and also I mean, can you give us a little bit more about your background before you got into marketing? Because people don't know. I mean, you're not just, you don't just do marketing, you do other things. You want to give just a little bit of just like
Um,
your background?
well, I mean, I used to do health and fitness, right? I used to work in the fitness field. I studied exercise science. I came from that background and 20 plus years in the industry, done every type of role from teaching to instructing to training to management, all of that. So, my career had to change after COVID and being a parent. I had to come up with something that was steady, right? So, the freedom was taken away. My time, I have to be more serious about the money that's coming in. So there's the pressures of that when you're being a provider. That's a stress, right? Instead of just parenting, is also being a provider and being a parent. It's a lot because you want to give the best you can to your kid, and you want to be able to provide for yourself as well. But you want to be able to do as much as you can for the kid. And let me kind of digress with that. It kind of goes with it, but one thing that I have learned because I wanted to do the best, right? I was taking her to like Disney at 2 and Legoland at 2 and San Diego Zoo. And you know what? She enjoyed it, but she doesn't remember it. I spent all this money throwing
Wow,
these
wow.
parties and
You hear
taking these
that, parents?
extravagant things.
New parents?
And then I remind myself when they're young, even at 5. they don't need these big extravagant things. They just can go to the park, enjoy being at the park. They can
Wow.
enjoy just being with a friend, or sitting with you and coloring a project. So I have to remind myself that when I think of I want to take my kid and experiences and all these things, it's great, but they don't need those experiences yet. They just need the simple connection with you and the idea of bonding, or not idea, the act of bonding is the
Oh,
important thing. Because I'm saying this because I did it, and then you're stressed, you're spending money, you're traveling, taking me there, and stressed about being there, and then getting stressed. Like when I took her to the zoo, right? I'm like, look at the animals, look, Saniva, look at the animals. She's not looking at the animals, she was looking at the people walking by. Some of you are like stressing that you're missing out on these beautiful animals. I'm not even enjoying it because I'm looking at how she's enjoying the moment, and she's not enjoying the animals. So it kind of can take away from an experience again with the expectations that you come with. So I'm just letting from my
wow.
mistake, letting save your pocket, save your money,
Thanks for
wait
telling me
until they're
that.
older, probably until like probably 5 to take
Yeah,
them to
thanks for
these
saying that.
things. They're going to
Right.
remember the bonding, not so much of where they were, what they were doing.
Girl, girl. Wow.
And
I
I,
feel
I'm going
like
to say this. I'm also
mhm,
going to say this. I was reviewing pictures and videos of when she was younger. And I hate to say it, but you go from seeing a baby and you cannot get away. The baby is on you, latched on you. I wanted to get away from her because she would not let anyone hold her. I'm literally holding her 24/7 because no one will hold her, right? I just wanted some time to myself. And then as they get in more and more independent, there's more time without them, right?
right, right.
But then also that affects the bonding.
Wow, yeah.
So when I look back at videos, I'm like, oh, we used to sit and play more.
Wow.
Now I don't play with her as much. So that bonding and the dynamic of the relationship changes. So I think I guess what I'm trying to say is I have to remember, I have to remind myself, like I have to make conscious time to sit and play with her like I did when she was younger. When she's young, you're automatically doing because you're trying to teach her something. You're
Right,
teaching her the ABCs or coloring or teaching her how to walk or stand because it's up
right,
to you to do so. Right
right. It's all
now,
you.
she's independent. She knows how to do those things. So you're not involved as much. And then now she's going to school and someone else is teaching them. So there's other people starting to take their time, and she's having her own time. So then there's less of you involved. So I just have to
Wow.
make a conscious effort to make sure I make time to play with her, not parent her, not tell her what you are doing wrong or what you're doing right, those kind of things, but just play like I did when she was younger.
Wow. With with all that, so she's 5 now. What would you say with like learning to be a parent and knowing you were going to do it on your own, and as she grows and then she goes from full dependence to like learning, and now she's not, clearly she's 5 so she's not as dependent, but she knows how
Right.
to do much on herself. Like she's,
Yep.
she's
Yeah.
potty trained, she's in
Yep.
school, she eats on
Yep.
her own, I'm
Yep.
sure she gets dressed. Is she picking out her clothes?
Yep.
Yeah, so she's like she's in it. I'm sure she knows what she likes. She knows what she doesn't like. She's 5. She's a
Yeah.
whole human. So with all that, what do you feel like has been the biggest thing you had to let go in the last 5 years to get to the understanding of life? Even being on this podcast and just being so aware of what it is to
Control.
raise. Okay.
I think the number one thing is control. I am, I wouldn't say I am the top of, ultra control person, but I like control. And it's not up to you anymore. And again, I think that was during also when I was a parent and also COVID, but you have to learn to go with the fly, be able to adjust quickly, transition, mix it up, switch it up, uh, and be okay with it. And be okay with, okay, if you are tend to be someone who's a perfectionist, let it go. It's not gonna, you can't. You're not gonna get as much done if you're caught up on how something needs to be done perfectly.
Okay.
It they're gonna totally switch up your life. The other thing is, again, and we talked about this, your sense of identity, right? That does take time. My brother had stated it, and I felt it. At about age 4, you start then feeling a sense of yourself coming back, or you feel like you're allowed to, or it's okay to start. Hmm, who am I? What do I need? Because they start
Wow.
showing their independence, right?
Mm.
Um, so it takes time. I think you do give up of yourself until 4. And slowly you gain yourself back. Maybe, before then, but as they become independent, you start becoming independent, or you start finding your identity again. And finding your identity, we have to understand, I have to understand that it's not who I was. It's not going back to who I was. It's trying to find a completely new identity.
Wow. Wow. Would you say you feel different from when you were younger about the idea of having children? Like, would you suggest people have children?
Yes, 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 yes. I think it is the hardest thing you could do, but the most rewarding. I mean, if you think about it, you guys, why do we exist? What's the purpose of our life? Seriously, is it to make a lot of money? And then money for who? For yourself? So at the end of the day, end of your life, I don't know your religious background or what you believe in, but what? What do you do when you pass? What does that do? Right? So for me, having a family or having your child is that it's an extension of yourself. The life that you've lived, the mistakes or the successes, you're able to then help another being, grow up and learn how, and teach them what you learned. There's a quote, I think you liked it as well. It's basically saying, I'm telling you something not because I know better or I'm better than you, it's because I've made a lot of mistakes.
Yes, yes.
Right? Is we're paying it forward to our own an extension of ourselves. I think that's probably the most purposeful thing anyone could do. It's the hardest, absolutely the hardest. But I don't think you'll know until you have a kid, though. I think the idea seems great, but I don't think you just won't know. You just won't know until you have your own. And it's kind of like people. Let's start with an animal, right? There's people who don't like dogs, right? And then eventually get a dog, and then they're like, oh, I can't imagine my life without a dog, because they just give you unconditional love. And then your life just changes around them. People who don't like dogs, so they automatically think, oh my gosh, the responsibilities. Even with the kid, even more so, but it's all smaller scale. The budget, the time to take care of a dog, and they didn't want to do it because they think of the responsibilities, right? And then they take a dog. Guess what? You make it happen, and you will not regret it. You can't imagine life without it. So now take that to a kid, right? And you see them evolve and
Right.
grow and being, um, a part of the community, part of existence. It's very rewarding and scary. Let's just be real too, because it's on you, right? To be a part of that. That's huge. But the point I want to make is that you can't think of a kid and think of all the responsibilities and the things that come with the kid. You just have to want the kid because you want to put love into somebody that's an extension of yourself, and you want to live a more purposeful life that is selfless. Yeah. That will give back to you things that you've never imagined about life and purpose.
Wow. Well, that's it.
Yeah, but hey,
I
but
think
can
we
I
just
say one
started
more
something.
thing?
Yes.
I mean, though I'm a single parent and I've come to peace with that,
Come on. Bring it full circle.
I still want a partner. Not because like I think of when I was younger, when I was a younger parent, I mean, early in the stage, I want someone to help me because I was stressed out, right?
Right.
Because that I've you become more mature as you become a parent and been parenting or
Right.
raising a kid. But I want a partner. Do you know why mostly? Is because I want to have someone that I can share these moments with, and we can have those conversations back and forth about it. So I can laugh about, oh my gosh, you see how Suneva did this? Oh, that's so funny. I want that partner to laugh and talk about these things, and while she is growing up. That makes me sad that I don't have another adult to have someone that I could talk to and see and witness this beautiful person growing up. That's why I want somebody. Simple.
This right here is grown ass woman shit. What you just said is it's grown, it's wise, it's whole, it's beautiful, it's God. Like witness to yes. To witness the beautiful glory of how Sunaeva's growing and evolving and experiencing and discovering. That is I believe what you said is another level of what God the source intends for us. Like how
Hmm.
beautiful is that? Because it's so, and it's not even selfless. It is a part of you reaching out to what you know you're supposed to have,
Hmm.
right? Or she's supposed to have.
Yeah,
We're supposed
absolutely.
to have the community, the witnessing, like
Hmm.
that. And I call it grown ass woman shit because I feel society honors the victim, the whiny woman that wants a partner, or the woman who's given it up and was like, I do it on my own and I don't want anyone. They're
And that's
they're
the thing.
they're
I don't want, and
burden.
I want people to understand. That, yes, as you get older and the more independent and the more you've done stuff, yes, I now those needs that I wanted in the beginning of someone helping me, girl, I figured it out now. At this point, I figured out how to take care of myself. I'm self
Mm,
sufficient. So
right,
it does become harder for a partner to come into infiltrate my life because
right,
I'm not used to it.
right.
But
She's the word
but
infiltrate that part
yes,
because that's
but
what they
I
do.
yes, but that part what I said, that that I can't replace that. I can't have I don't there is I can't be another person to talk to and share and experience that with. I don't that I can't create that, right? Again,
Right.
I think it's that bond. It's again about connection and bonding. You want someone to bond with and connect with to witness such a beautiful thing. Your life is about, I think, creating memories and bonding and connection,
This
right? You
is
have that with your kid and you want to be able to do that with somebody else and be able to share that moment with somebody of your mental, consciousness and intelligence and be able to kind of sit in that and had feedback. I want feedback. I want feedback from a mature partner. And that's why I think it's very important that I want the right one because I don't need someone in my life that's going to take away. I need someone who's going to elevate me or be with me to take it on and make the experience better. Right. And we could bond off of everything that we're going through.
this is excellent. This is excellent. I'm blown away, Carly. You're so fucking intelligent. You're so fucking intelligent. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Carly. Thank you for, I don't know, laying it out, laying it out for us as a mom, as a parent, as a woman, and as clearly a serious person. You're serious about your life. That's very
Yeah.
obvious. And this is what it looks like, you guys. This is what it looks like, women and men, for someone to be serious about their life. This is what it looks like. And it looks different ways, but or I should say, this is what it sounds like because it's
Mm.
going to look different ways. So
Hmm.
thanks, Carly. And I'm going to say, we're going to do this again. That's what I'm
I
going to
love
say.
it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Until next time, everyone, enjoy and stay close. Stay close to what really matters to you because at the end of the day, that's truly all that matters. Thanks for joining me. Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Present.